What's going on, everyone? Today I am with Marley Jaxx, one of my favorite people in the world. If you don't know who she is and you are interested in being on video, doing something with YouTube, you need to check her out. Welcome, Marley.
Hi. Hi.
Marley's got a great smile, doesn't she?
Oh, the former dental hygienist in me.
There you go. So if you haven't listened to our podcast, we have a podcast with Marley where we take you on her journey from being a dental hygienist to a amazing influencer, helping people scale through video. What we're here to talk about today, Marley had a few questions around presenting on our webinar. Now, she does a webinar that converts pretty well. It was doing really well, but she had a couple questions around how she could make it better. Marley, I'll let you kind of take it from there. What were you struggling with? Like, what were you thinking when we started talking?
Yeah, so I've been running this webinar to a $9.97 product, and it was good. Like I felt like I was keeping people engaged throughout the whole webinar, and people loved the slides and the stories. But then when it came to the pitch, the people that were so engaged, still didn't always buy. It was converting okay, but I was like, how do I make this better? Like I know that they're loving the content. Is it that I'm teaching too much in the content that's taking away from the pitch? Am I not being persuasive enough? Like what was it? So when you watched my webinar, and I loved how you did a full audit of the whole thing. Like every single section you came back to me with like, this is how many trial closes you have, this is how many stories you have, this is what you need, this was well, this worked well, this like tweak this, and I loved how you even gave me like plug and play paragraphs or sentences to put in different spots. And that for sure helped so much, even just like with my confidence in feeling like, oh yeah, I want to perform a webinar that I would feel like I'd be excited about witnessing or observing. And I got so much more excited about performing it, and it showed in the conversions as well.
Awesome. I mean, I don't know if I can add anything to that. It's always interesting to me when when we're talking, right? We do the best that we can, but having an objective lens, somebody look at it and say, maybe if you just tweak the way you say this.
Yeah.
So I think you hit the nail on the head. Was there any like major pain point, like singular thing that I said anywhere along the line that you were like a big aha, even though you've been doing them for years?
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything that really stuck out to you?
I loved when you told me about opening loops throughout the webinar that then the stack answers. That was a huge aha moment for me. And then I went back and I would tweak some of my stories, or I would plant a seed to be like, would you guys want to know that? Okay, sit tight, I'll tell you about that later. And seeing even the comments to be like, what? No, oh my gosh, I'm on the edge of my seat. It was so fun to see that and to create that. And so now going into any webinar, any presentation, I'm always thinking about how do I open a loop that's going to keep them watching and keep them staying to the end, and then the stack answers. So that was so cool. And then I was concerned about my webinar being too long, and that I was like, are people going to be annoyed in the pitch? Like, drop it already. Tell me how much the price is already. Like, give me the link already. But you gave me a lot of just clarification in that you didn't feel like it was too long, but you also showed me how I could shorten the wait time for people to find out, to hear about the pitch. And then the rest of the time is still telling those stories and overcoming objections and doing Q&A, that I could just kind of change the order of things. And then that released the pressure. And then also, like, people still stayed. It's not like I said the price and then they left, because there was still so much more content and the communication, the engagement, the Q&A, that it worked really well.
Awesome. I think I've heard some other people say that as well, because I think a lot of people, when we do the webinar, we think the pitch is like, we're like, people are going to get bored during this. But if you build content and build stories and build things that engage people, it's still part of the webinar. It's just like the third act.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that was really, really helpful. Thank you so much. Is there anything you would leave if somebody out there is like, I don't know, is this guy really going to help me? I have conversions. I have some stuff going. I think I'm okay. Is there anything you would say to that person?
Yeah, I honestly I loved all of the help you gave. I felt like you over delivered on everything. You were accessible. You you answered every question I had, and I feel like you totally over delivered on what I expected. I have unfortunately paid people for webinar help that didn't convert or didn't, deliver to the level that you did. So no question, I would recommend people to work with you.